So this afternoon, I'd like for us to get together and go over our post-observation conference. I want to start with a mapping of the room to show the physical layout. I noticed that this is the front door right there,
Yes,
and I noticed that you started right here. And as you explained the lesson and what you wanted the students to do, I noticed that when it was time for them to work in their groups, you stopped at group D, this is group D, and that you spoke to this boy.
Yes.
Then I noticed that after you spoke to
I
him,
moved over.
yeah, you spoke to Savannah. Then I realized that you went to group C. My noticings are that you spoke to about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 students on a one-to-one basis. But I noticed that you stopped mostly in group D, which later on, you stopped here for 4 students, which later on I discovered that this is the table that had your L learners. So I can see why you stopped to reiterate your instructions over. The physical layout was great. I noticed you were able to move around the room. And even as I stood observing, I didn't bump into anybody, and neither did your para had her seating right there.
Yeah.
And it seemed like you guys did like collaborative team teaching.
Yes.
Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Well, basically team teaching is where we group our classes into different areas where we have the lows and highs. And we use data-driven instructions, and by having this data, we're able to group our kids, and me moving around the room will allow me to touch more focus on those students that need my help or need a little tapping, according to their IEPs. We use running records and reading levels to be able to group them. Like in group D, I know, we have 2 of our students are low learners. So every time I pass by, they are more focused and they could remember more things. The group B, if you notice during the lesson, I still mostly in group B because they needed more eye-to-eye contact, where group C, they knew exactly what to do. So I didn't have to stay in that group so long.
I did notice that. I noticed that in the groupings you did different things. So I also noticed that it gives the students an opportunity, the layout, to work in the groups. And I noticed that, like I said, you have a variety of learners. Is there a strategy that you use to sit the students in the groups?
Yeah, there's several strategies. One of the strategies is data, okay? And then, of course, we have previous year teachers comment to sit our children, we know which one worked best with who, like a behavior management kind of system, and that really helps. So, but mostly it's data, we go by groups like that in our ICT class where they're able to help each other.
So now I just want to go down the Danielson framework and the components I was able to observe. So I was able to observe component 1A, which is demonstrating knowledge of content and pedagogy.
Good afternoon, Park Interruption. Just a reminder for
Announcements.
students in grades 3, 4, 5 teachers, the dismissal exit is A near the schoolyard. Once again, dismissal near the schoolyard, which is exit A. Please dismiss students promptly at 2:20. In addition, all staff members should assemble in the auditorium at 3 p.m. Thank you.
So it was clear that you would plan prior to the lesson and that you did use the student data to drive your instruction within the lesson, as well as you explained within the groups. And the students were separated into there were 3 groups, and then one group was off doing a different activity. Each group having different supporting scaffolds to best meet their needs. And in this area, I gave you an effective. Then in 1E, designing coherent instruction, I noticed that the learning activities were matched to the outcome of having the students draft an opinion piece about what foods they don't like.
Right.
Sorry. One thing that we spoke about was how you supported their different individual levels of learning. I noticed that the students also had great discussions with each other, especially when you had them turn and talk.
Okay.
About
yes,
what
we did
they-
a turn and talk.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm just writing it down.
Oh,
Just the
sorry.
feedback.
also, you create an environment of respect and rapport. That is clear. Your classroom management skills
Thank you.
and the students. And in such a short time, it's impressive because we've had, what, 4 weeks of school with a lot of time off in between. And also because you just came back now in September after having a few months off before. So the fact that you bounced back is just
Another
amazing.
thing that really helped us using to group our class is we look for our colleagues' feedback from last year. So every year we have little notes. So as you read those little notes, you're able to know what students are coming to your class. So even though we just started school, I was able to know who's coming in, you know, because before June, I was able to meet some of them.
And that's but my point right here, where you got a highly effective creating an environment of respect and rapport. The children, the students were definitely comfortable with you. I did notice how you patted Delaney. I noticed how you patted her to refocus her, to keep her on, on track of what you guys were doing. The student behavior was entirely appropriate. The students already knew your expectations. I do notice you have a behavior chart, and
Yes.
I did notice that you pointed at something while Pedro was talking. You pointed at, think about it. Was there a particular reason why you did that?
Oh, basically it's just like a prompting, you know. So what?
I'm sorry.
I'm so sorry.